Get Macy's lowest prices of the season on furniture, mattresses, and rugs specials. Kick back on the Lily fabric sofa for $579. Sit down to the new Aberdeen 5-piece dining set, now $1,049. And stretch out on the Canyon Queen bed, just $339. Plus, get 50 to 60% off select Simmons and Sealy mattresses. Going on now at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Man, there are a lot of podcasts out there.
Definitely. I mean, there's 3 million shows, 50 million episodes, and more every day.
I mean, who has the time to figure out which ones are the best podcasts?
We do. That's who. What's up, guys? I am Alicia Renee.
And I'm Dax Holt.
And we are your hosts of Pod Sauce, a podcast discovery show.
Look at us as your podcast concierge.
We do all the work for you. We listen to the shows, review them,
pick the best episodes, and interview the hosts.
Pod Sauce. Let us help you find your next binge. Tell them where to go, Dax.
Go to podsauce.com.
Local people, local stories. This is the WBBM All Local from News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
Our top local story on WBBM, a Chicago woman who says she's been the target of a stalker for nearly 10 years, decided to go very public. She's sharing her story online and with WBBM. WBBM's Mike Krauser with the story.
Melissa Callahan says it started with sexually explicit messages, and several times someone was in her home taking a picture of her while she slept, and she says she woke to find her clothes partially removed.
Trying to understand what has happened while I was asleep, trying to understand how I didn't wake up.
She believes her cat was poisoned. A severed animal head and other things have been left outside that she believes were intended to let her know he was there.
And that he's playing this game and he's winning this game.
She says she knows who it is, someone she briefly dated but can't prove it.
I sleep with a baseball bat.
She says police have been of little help. State's attorney investigators told her she needs more evidence. A judge did too.
So I don't have help.
So she put all the circumstantial evidence online at stalkerfile.com. Nearly 200 pages, some explicit. Maybe someone will recognize something, she says, and reach out. She says the best way to describe it is if you're watching a scary movie, you have the ability to turn it off.
I can't turn this off.
One Chicago woman's nightmare.
A number of politicians and public figures will be there to say goodbye to a local civil rights legend.
The public viewing for local historian and activist Timuel Black will take place this afternoon on the South Side. It's between 1 and 7 p.m. at the A.A. Rayner & Sons Funeral Home near 71st and Calumet. The private funeral is tomorrow morning at the First Unitarian Church of Chicago at 56th and Woodlawn. Mayor Lightfoot and Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle are expected to speak. Father Michael Flager of St. Sabina Church will deliver the eulogy. A public memorial service is planned for December 5th at the University of Chicago's Rockefeller Chapel. Timuel Black died October 13th at the age of 102. Rob Hart, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
2 Chicago police officers are recovering after being wounded by another officer last night in West Suburban Lyons.
Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown says officers were struggling with a suspect at a gas station in the 8000 block of West Ogden when the third officer's weapon fired accidentally, hitting one officer in the arm, the other in a shoulder. They were both last reported in good condition at Loyola University Medical Center.
The officer that fired a weapon is not injured, but obviously it's very traumatic to have accidentally have this happen.
Superintendent Brown says officers had spotted a car on DuSable Lakeshore Drive that a license plate reader determined was wanted in connection with a murder. A police helicopter followed the car into Lyons and reported the location to officers on the ground. Police say a gun was found in the suspect's car. 2 people are in custody. Bernie Tafoya, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
The Cook County State's Attorney's Office says it's won a $266 million award against Sam's Club. The award is over the company's failure to pay taxes on the sale of cigarettes over a 7-year period. The county sued Sam's Club in 2019 for failure to comply with the county's tobacco tax ordinance. A doctor with Cook County Health in an intensive care unit for COVID has written an open letter to the unvaccinated.
Dr. Michael Hoffman titled the letter, "I am tired, we are tired," pleading for the public to trust medical professionals and accept vaccines as the most viable option in defeating the COVID virus. On the issue of trust and visible conflicting medical opinions on the vaccine, Dr. Hoffman tells WBBM that most healthcare workers are vaccinated and that it really comes down to optics with those opposed seen over social media.
We know that this is a very small minority of cases of healthcare workers who do not want the vaccine. And, that's something that needs to be worked out on an individual basis.
Dr. Hoffman then returns to the original intent behind his letter.
We're not out of this pandemic. We have a very safe and effective way to get out of this pandemic, and that is through vaccination.
Brandon Eisen, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A former judge in DuPage County is facing firearms charges. The Daily Herald reports 71-year-old Patrick O'Shea is accused of taking out a shotgun during a dispute with a neighbor in Lombard. The paper says O'Shea was removed from the bench by the Illinois Courts Commission following a 2017 incident in which he allegedly discharged a handgun inside his apartment in Wheaton. Chicago police are working to track down a gunman who took the lives of 2 people overnight. As WBBM's Bernie Tafoya reports, the killings happened just a couple of blocks apart in the Logan Square neighborhood.
Chicago police say that a little after 1 this morning, a 25-year-old man was sitting at a bus stop in the 3900 block of West Fullerton when he got into an argument with another man who shot him in the chest, killing him. The gunman got away on foot, and about 3 blocks away in the 2300 block of North Keystone, took the car of a 41-year-old man, but not before shooting him in the chest. That man died at Illinois Masonic Medical Center. Bernie Tafoya, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
2 Chicago police officers are recovering from gunshot wounds they suffered during a struggle with a suspect in suburban Lyons last night. A license plate reader determined a car spotted on Lakeshore Drive near Roosevelt was wanted in connection with a murder. The officers followed the vehicle to a gas station in the near western suburb. CPD Superintendent David Brown says the duo was shot after another officer's gun discharged during the scuffle.
Arm and shoulder. Arm for one officer, shoulder for the other. So likely a through and through for one officer into another officer.
The wounded officers were taken to the hospital in good condition. The suspect and another person are in custody. A Naperville Central High School student has been sentenced for a racially charged ad that he posted on Craigslist. WBBM's Mike Krauser with the latest.
The boy was charged with committing a hate crime and disorderly conduct for placing the ad in November of 2019, showing a picture of a black classmate with the caption reading, "Slave for Sale," along with what DuPage County State's Attorney Robert Berlin said was a racial slur. Berlin said in a statement, hate crimes have no place in a civilized society and will not be tolerated, regardless of a person's age. He called it despicable behavior. The teenager pleaded guilty last month and has now been sentenced to 2 years of probation, 100 hours of community service and counseling, bringing an end to the slave for sale case in Naperville.
The governor's office has an update on state employees and Illinois COVID requirements.
Nearly 2,100 more state workers are now covered under union agreements requiring vaccination after the 5th such agreement was reached with the Teamsters. Affected are some employees in the Department of Human Services and the Department of Veterans Affairs. The governor's office adding if state employees covered under the 5 agreements do not receive a vaccination or get an exemption, disciplinary measures may ultimately lead to discharge. The deadline is October 26th. Bob Conway, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
That's the WBBM All Local. Updated multiple times a day. But for the latest news, traffic, weather, sports, and business, listen live to WBBM anytime by asking your smart speaker to play WBBM News Radio. You can also listen at WBBMNewsRadio.com, on the Odyssey app, and of course, on the radio. News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM. WBBM.
Love It or Leave It is an insanely funny, wildly popular, critically beloved, extremely handsome podcast hosted by former Obama speechwriter John Lovett on Crooked Media. Each week, Lovett, that's me, is joined by comedians, journalists, activists, elected officials, and more to break down the latest news with humor, analysis, and light optimism wherever applicable. New episodes drop every Saturday morning. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen.
Get Macy's lowest prices of the season on specials for cooler weather, like cute boots and booties starting at $27.99. And warm new coats for all, 50 to 60% off. And get cafe-style coffee at your fingertips with select Nespresso bundles for only $124.99, now at Macy's. Plus, get your Macy's order faster when you pick up curbside or in store. Or try same-day delivery powered by DoorDash. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Hi, it's Elise Lunan, host of Pulling the Thread. In this show, I chat with culture-defining leaders, thinkers, and experts about this rare moment that we find ourselves in and how to think about our own lives and experiences within a larger social and spiritual construct. Listen and follow Pulling the Thread with me, Elise Lunan, a podcast presentation of Cadence 13, now for free on Odyssey and wherever you get your podcasts.